Hey, welcome back, YouTube. This is Cole from Drive Check, podcast YouTube channel, and this is going to be a combination of week 1 and week 2 of From Wrong to Right. It's a series where I try to break Mike the Shipwright in half in premium. So every week I'm going to give you a synopsis on how the deck uh, played the previous week, and then I'm gonna kind of give you an updated deck profile for the next week. Um, so yeah, I've got about 2 weeks of data going through. Um, I will actually I'll go through the deck profile first this week, and then I'll kind of explain as I'm going through why I made the changes I made from last week. And so we'll just nothing changed in the G zone. I know I said that I'd probably want to run more gouaches, but that is a bold-faced lie. um, my G zone I think is pretty solid the way that it is. Uh, if anything, I'd want to try to fit the progenitor dragon in, but that's always difficult because I always want to, when I stride, I almost always want to go into Obadiah for first stride so that I can mill my deck of all of the Mike the Shipwrights or any other key cards that I need ASAP, so that they're out of the deck, and then I can call them and start my Mike the Shipwright attack. So, but in the Progenitor Dragon, well, it does. So I don't even know what it does. All I know that it lets me stride for free, which is very nice, and that I can't flip it up though for the cost of other cards. So I might have to relook into that one, but I don't own it right now, so I don't really want to use it if I don't have it. All right, so moving on to the main deck because nothing changed in the G zone. Still have the same V series starter, so just move him over there. Sorry. All right, same V series starter, and I'll just move these guys away. And I know in my deck profile I said that I was gonna run Cocytus, and you can run Cocytus, but I learned really quickly that first week that I can't do anything if on Cocytus if I only have 3 cards left in my deck. I can't Superior Call. I can't do a lot of things. So instead, I'm opting for the Night Rose, going full Night Rose, no Cocytus, because I can do things when I attack. So like I could counterblast 1 on attack, going first. So I'm the first person to ride grade 3. I can use her ability, give my field extra power, and then I can call things like Storm Ride Ghost Ship or Greed Shades or other things like that, and I can have a more beneficial play. Whereas with Cocytus, I have to mill 4, which, mill 4 is kind of nice, but like mill 4 in the late game is really bad, and there might be some games where I can't actually mill, so having Night Rose, being on Night Rose, I think overall is more beneficial. So we're running 4 of her. Boop. And then 2 Skull Dragons. Same thing as before. I had to make room. I'd like to run 3 if possible, but 2 will do, just to help make big numbers. Make some plays a little bit more threatening. And then this is a secret tech that was mentioned to me, and I realized that this could really work. It's Flanger. So Flanger in Standard is actually banned because it works too well with Night Rose, but in Premium it's not banned. So his ability is Vanguard or Rearguard. Once per turn, you can Soul Blast a grade 3, discard any number of cards from your hand, and then he gains 5,000 power until end of battle. For every grade that you discarded is your opponent can't guard with it. So if I discarded zeros 1 and 2, then they also cannot guard with a 0, 1, or 2. And they can't guard with Sentinels either. So this is essentially the whole plan is to boost it with Mike, back here. No, wait, no, yeah. I'll get this one day. Yeah, whatever. I'll boost it with Mike, so that it becomes like 100 some power, and they can't guard it at all, and then they have to take the damage. That's the plan. So, yeah, Flinger has actually won me a couple games against OTT Gize with the new Susano support and whatnot. Because I could get them to 5, and then I can just boost it with Mike the Shipwright, and then that's like a 200 some K column that they can't sentinel or guard with anything. So this card's really good. I just had to remember that if I'm playing against D Police, I need to discard a grade 3 as well. And that he works on Vanguard and Rearguard Circle. So that's also a really good thing. So Flinger's right there. Those are all my grade 3s. I'm only running, I believe, 7. So, could be better, could be worse. In the first deck profile, I was running 1 Stormride Ghost Ship. And because I'm focusing more on Nitros as my main grade 3 unit, we're gonna run more. We're gonna run more Ghost Ships because earlier game it's a lot better to have. Also, it helps me just straight up build my hand, which is really nice, and I can it helps me grade 2, not necessarily grade 2 game. I can call it on grade 2 with Columbard, which we'll get to shortly, but basically it helps me control my opponent's board. There we go. I can attack the rear guards that they're leaving out, so I can damage deny them, stuff like that. This card's really good, and I want to draw as much as possible because, as we'll get to a little bit later, my triggers have changed drastically. So, we're running 2 Stormride Ghost Ships. 1 Skeleton Cannoneer, just that removal is really nice, and then being able to draw a card is also really sweet. And when I'm on Nitros, I can call it out if I can flip up a G unit with Tempest Sphere or something. I can call out Skeleton Cannoneer. He gets a little extra power and an attack. And then Nitros can call it during the battle phase, so I can snipe something else again. So there's a lot of cool things I can do with him. Alright, and then 4 Columbards. So this is not a max rarity deck. This is not supposed to be a max rarity deck. I need to get 3 or 4 more Columbards, I think, just regular ones. So these are just going to be my standard only, and then this is just going to be base rarity except for my G-Zone. So it's actually, technically, it's not going to be SP'd out. But right now it is because I need to fill cards. And then my 7Cs has the rest. So anyway, 4 Columbard. It lets me literally search for anything and call anything. It's so good. I can do it. I can use it to call more mics out. You can use it to mill more mics. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat, so pardon me. But there's a lot I can do with this. It just opens up so many plays. So he's real good. I debated on dropping him down to 3, but then I realized that just having the ability to grab whatever I want from my deck and then calling anything is it's too good to pass up. So throw him over there. All right, and then last, I had the previous one. I was running 4 Greed Shades. I think that might be too many in this deck. I do want to recur things from my drop zone and add them back to my hand occasionally, but it's basically just here so I can recycle my single copy of my draw PG. That's it, basically. Milling 2 is also kind of nice, actually, and that extra power that it gets is pretty sweet, too. But for the most part, it's just going to be for the, whatchamahoots, to recur things. There we go. Alright, now we're going into the grade 1s. 3 Negrobone. And I'm running 3 because I just counted my deck beforehand, and I had 50 cards, not including my starter. So then I'm like, alright, I could probably just trim one down. And I can call it out again with Columbard or Ghosty or Obadiah in my my Stride Obadiah. So I can do things. I think 3 is an okay number. Uh, Basically, I just want to. Oh, man, this is so hard. All right. Basically, I just want to get out my Mike the Shipwrights as many as possible. So I can do combos with this, and then let's go on to the next one. I'm only running 2 Ripple Banshees. And that's because I can recur them. And honestly, she's really just here because she Soul Blasts and draws me a card. That's basically it. Same reason I run a single copy of the old Dancing Cutlass, the original Dancing Cutlass, just because it Soul Blasts 2 and draws me a card. And that's it. But yeah, so she does a lot of things. She helps me recycle my Mike the Shipwright. So I could let's say I'm on Obadiah. I scoop all my Mike the Shipwrights in, and then I can call one of them, or use a Negrabone to call a Ripple Banshee. Ripple Banshee's gonna bring one out, and then I have another way to call it. Like I can use Column Bard to call it again. I can do other things that can make Mike the Shipwright even bigger just by recycling him from the soul. So that's basically it on those two cards. Alright, so next, single copy of Tempest Sphere. This card is actually so good. And I really only want to run one, I think, because it's the only I can only find space for it. But I need to flip up. I need to have one card in my G zone face up for when I go into Obadiah. Because Obadiah, it's a difference of calling 2 cards versus calling 4 cards, 4 or more. And so that's it. Also, it lets me search for a heal trigger. Check top 7 for a normal unit or a vanilla unit, and the only vanilla unit I have is my heal trigger. So it lets me search for those, so I can have them into my hand, so that I can use them for G guarding to accelerate my my drop zone even more, basically, or my generation break even more, and occasionally drop zone. So there's that. And then still have the same number of Mike the Shipwrights. I think 5 is a really good number. If I wanted to move it up to 6, I would probably drop a Column Bard for it, I think. But Column Bard is way too good, and I can, like I said, I have multiple ways of just reusing this. So there's that. Yeah, 5 is the bread. 5 of the main card is what we're going for. And then, like I had before, 3 V and 1 OG Dancing Cutlass. Same rationale before. Countercharging is really good. Main phase countercharging is really good. And then being able to do Soul Charge or Soul Blast too in order to draw a card is really sweet too. I can also just play them from my hand. I don't have to call them from the drop zone. So there's that. Nothing much has changed there. So I'm still running a copy of Grenache, and I'm still running a copy of Chappie the Ghosty. I'm debating. I keep going back and forth on upping Chappie the Ghosty. I think 2 might be the way to go, especially if I need to get certain pieces out faster. I think that's probably the way to go. But 1 for now is solid. Grenache is really helping me. He's really good. I didn't organize these. There you go. Yeah, Grenache is kind of how I open up. I just have to make sure that I call him. It kind of sucks calling a Grenache and not calling a Mike the Shipwright when I could. But we just need to make sure that we have plays for next turn. Need to have a lot of open counterblast. Alright, single copy of Gust Jin because it's just another option for Sentinel Restricts, and a single draw is fine. It doesn't matter to me. Not Sentinel Restricts, but like Guard Restricts, where you can't use grade 1s. You can only use grade 0s or whatever. That's why. And then for Chad the Ghosty. And the only reason I'm running him and I'm not running the other Wild Seas Banshee, I think her name is because Chad the Ghosty, I can discard him to Stride, and because I'm running less grade 3s, I prioritize striding more. Yeah, so that's the thing. I would like to stride more than draw a card, because striding enables pretty much all of my plays. So Chad the Ghosty seemed more beneficial than Wild Seas Banshee. Although in a perfect world, I'd run both of them. However, I'm focusing more on... Let's get them out. Make sure that they're in the correct order. Here we go. Stand triggers. So I was running 3. Mike the Ghostian family. But now we're going to run 4. Because I realized that the build that I had before, I was trying to do too much. I was trying to fit too many engines in, and they weren't actually, working together. So the name of this game is to make Mike the Shipwright big, and then just restand him constantly. Make the Ghosty goes back into the deck as long as I can call him or call something on top of him. Then he just goes straight back to the deck. Performing Zombie is actually pretty solid because he lets me, when he's placed, I can check the top 10 cards in my deck and mill 1 from among them. So I can get Mike the Shipwrights out, I can get Stormlight Ghost Ships out, I can get whatever I need out with him. So he's really good for that. He doesn't shuffle himself back in though, but it's just another more stand options. So 7 stands is the name of the game, and I've had a lot of fairly good results with this. Although I kind of want to introduce more selective milling because I'm not getting my deck thin enough. Like, there were multiple games, I'll talk about them more in depth later on, but there were multiple games where if I just checked a stand trigger out of the 6 cards left in my deck, I would have won. But I did not. So that's a thing. Also, just 4 regular heals. Just 4 regular good luck Banshee heals. Nothing too special about them. That's the thing. And then, like I said before, the actual whatchamacallit is the same. So let's kind of go over what I discovered while I was playing. Let's just make this look a little prettier. Woo. Okay. So I've been taking notes, and I should take more notes because they're a little barren and I don't remember all the details. But basically, for the first week, it gave me the idea to run Flanger, and I really, really like that idea on Flanger. It helped me quite a bit. I also thought about running more stands, which we put in a bit more. It's also when I decided that Night Rose is probably better than Cocytus, which is very true. Also, running more Ripple Banshees than I think I was before. Maybe that was just a thought process. I don't know if I actually went through with that or not. And then I actually wrote down what my matchups were last week. So the first one was against Narukami, and Grand Blue in general just kind of really sucks against the new Narukami guy, who binds 4 from your field and 4 from your drop zone, and then can bind more from your hand. And he took all of my key pieces out of the game before I could even touch them, and so that was incredibly frustrating. Incredibly frustrating. I couldn't do anything. But I think I just need to play against it more and trying to figure out how that deck works a little bit more and what I can do, what pieces I don't necessarily need, like in the moment, what are pieces that I can get rid of, stuff like that. So that one, very frustrated with that. And then OTT Gize, I was able to swing Mike the Shipwright and boosting Flanger for 388,000 power. 388,000 power. And couple that with Flanger's. Hey, you just can't guard this. They had to take that 6 damage. That happened both games, actually. I think I could do that both games. So that was really sweet. And then... So, yeah, that's right. Another thing, I was able to rush early against them. I could put a bunch of damage down real quick. And granted, they were just trying to take as much damage in order for them to in order for them to get those the triggers so they can flip up their dragons. But I just rushed them a little too quickly, and so I could do that. And then I played against Shadow Luard, and I just got outpaced the first game. He could just straight up outvalue me and everything, so there wasn't much I could do for that. And then the second game, I had a G assist, and I failed 3 turns in a row. So I just chalked that up to bad luck on that one. But that was the end of that one. And then I played like a bonus match against Dimension Police, and I swung big, but I misplayed a lot. So I could get my shipwright up to pretty big numbers, but I forgot about using key skills like Ripple Banshee. I know I keep forgetting to do that for some reason. And I think I forgot to use Columbard once. I just called him out off of the Obadiah, and I just moved to do a different skill and never went back to him, which I do a lot. That just comes down to me misplaying and not thinking things through all the way. But my record for the actually, let's go for the first week. My record was 1-3. So I won once and lost 3 times. And this week was also the one that I realized that not that I realized, but I had to G assist six times in one match. I don't remember who I was playing against, but I literally G assisted 6 different times in 3 games. So that was just not good, and I think it was all for like grade 1 or something, and I ran like an exorbitant amount of grade 1s. Oh no, I did grade 1 for the first one, but then I found it. I'm thinking maybe I missed it. Anyway, there was some where I found it for 1 grade, and then I wrote up, and then I couldn't find it for the grade 3. That happened a couple times. So that was just really bad. And yeah, that is my current deck list and my thoughts on playing it a couple times. As of right now, I don't think there's anything that I want to change necessarily, so I'll probably just keep it the same. But I do want to. I do need another week to play this through, think a little bit more on it, just kind of figure some things out, especially how to play against Narukami and other like more rush focused decks. And it might just be that I have nothing for them because I am a slower paced deck, and I don't have a lot of shield value in my triggers. So, that's another thing I was thinking about. Maybe I try running more of the crit sentinels, because 30k shield is actually pretty solid, and especially if I don't have to discard a card in order to perfect guard it, because most attacks are going to be as big as 300,000. So, that might be something to think about. But also, I need to keep in mind not to rely on Flanger, because there was one time I was playing. I think this is against DP, but I was playing, and I was really focused on doing the Flanger play, and I was thinning my deck. I had like 3 stands in the deck out of like 6 or so. Maybe it was 7. Anyway, like most of my deck was stands, so I thought, I could just restand Flanger and do it. But he was able to guard. I had Skull Dragon out, and I had I think it was on Obadiah or something, and then I had Flanger boosted by Mike the Shipwright, and then the plan was to restand my Flanger so I can get that Sentinel Restrict off again, when it would have been more beneficial just to move Mike the Shipwright up. He was swinging for like 200,000 or so, and like no amount of card that he had, he could have perfect guarded one of them, but like if I just focused on Mike the Shipwright instead of having that Sentinel Restrict shenanigans with Flanger, that probably would have won me the game, because he just ended up taking the single damage of Flanger when he was on 4 damage, so he just went to 5, and that was it. And I had no hand. My board was just depleted basically, and I was a sitting duck. So learning when to go in with Mike the Shipwright and Flanger is something that I really need to pay attention to. But those are my thoughts and feelings, and not questions, but how I'm trying to figure out how to make Mike the Shipwright work. I definitely think there's something there. But right now, I haven't really broken it yet. So that means there's more to improve on. So without further ado, gonna peace out so I can edit this and have it uploaded soon. But yeah, I'm out. We're gonna take better notes for next week, hopefully, and we'll go from there. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye.